Hi, this is Simon Jacobson with another episode of Meaningful Live. We continue our series on the Zodiac Decoded, what the stars say about you. And this month, we cover the sign of Gemini. This program is dedicated by Lori, Brittany, and Samantha Good in memory of Bruce Good, beloved husband and father. There are many different ways to explain and interpret the signs as they apply to our lives, the predispositions that they help defining our personalities, our characteristics. I want to take a particular focus here on the series. We'll call it the 3 months, the 3 signs that began with Aries, followed by Taurus, and now Gemini. Besides that, each has their own self-contained message, but they also complement each other and actually work and grow and progress one into the next. So we know the first of all the 12 signs begins with Aries, which corresponds to the Hebrew month of Nisan, which is the first of the 12 lunar months. So this perspective I'm taking from the Jewish mystical and Kabbalistic teachings. Aries, which is usually translated ram or lamb, is followed by Taurus, the bull. In a previous part of this series, we discussed the difference between the two. One is more docile, one is more gentle, and the other more aggressive. Corresponding to the two poles, the two polar opposites of chesed and gvura, which is kindness, gentleness, and discipline, strength. Both are necessary, and they both complement each other. But they're different types of personality types. Now we come to Gemini, twins. Te'umim in Hebrew, twins. Twins immediately tell us that there isn't one, there's two, but they're twins, which means there's something that corresponds, something that connects, something that's in common between the two. So here's how the mystics, the Kabbalists put it. That everything in existence is structured in threes. There's the right, there's the left, there's the center. Nothing can stand if it doesn't have 3 legs. And what is the right, left, and center? The right brain, the left brain, the center brain. Right arm, left arm, the heart. Right leg, left leg, the center. The center is considered the foundational element. The right and left, in a sense, spread it out. If you think of a trunk of a tree, that will be the center, like the spine in the human body. And then it branches to right and to left. Right generally are the more kinder and gentler attributes, the ones that flow forward, like water corresponds to the right. Fire corresponds to the left. Blue, red. Both absolutely necessary. In human relationships, the idea of kindness, of course, love, is the foundation of every relationship, is the foundation of existence. However, love also needs to be balanced. Balanced with discipline. You can suffocate someone with love. You could drown a field, even though rain is giving love, but the rain has to come in raindrops. So you have the other side, which seasons, which regulates, which guides, which disciplines. And we call that strength. We call that discipline. We call it sometimes the more severe side, but not severe necessarily in a negative way. It's just much more discretionary. That may be the best word, discretion. So they balance and they counter each other. Aries, Taurus. And then comes the third, the Geminis, the twins. The twins is harmony within diversity. It's understanding that different entities have different personalities, have different ways of looking at things. And you're looking for that, not just the common denominator, you're looking for that higher transcendent force that sees the strengths in each one of them and provides a synergy of something more than the sum of the parts. So in life, there's a give and take. You receive a blessing from above, the blessing of life. Parents, others that have helped shape and helped bring you where you are right now. Then there's the things that you do through your initiative, your efforts. And then we need to join the two of them. You want to have the best of both worlds. And that comes to what we call, in the sporadic structure, Tiferes, harmony, beauty. Think of beauty. What's a beautiful thing? The color blue can be very beautiful. The color red can be beautiful. One musical note can be beautiful, but we don't really call that beauty. One note, you keep playing it, it gets monotonous. One color will also be monotonous. Beauty is actually harmony within diversity. You say a beautiful face. Is it the eyes, the ears, the nose, the complexion, the cheeks, the forehead? It's a combination of all of them that just come together in this harmony. When you hear a beautiful song, it's many different musical notes and perhaps many different instruments. But they all come together in the right order. And then they're more, not just you bringing together pieces, it's more than the sum of the parts, what we call synergy. In biblical terms, you talk about the first day, the second day, and the third day of creation. The first day, the creation of light, a light. The second day, the division of the higher and the lower, diversity, which can go toward divisiveness, unfortunately, but could also lead to day 3, where you bring the diversity together in one harmonious, synergetic, synchronized whole. And that's the twins. Two different forces. Now, we're the first set of twins that we're familiar with. Jacob and Esau, the biblical twins, who were at each other's throats, literally, from the moment that they were conceived. Or not necessarily the moment, but even in pregnancy. They represent the tension between matter and spirit. A tension we all can experience, and we all do experience. The need to survive, the need to pay our bills, the need to make ends meet, the need to take care of our material needs. But we also have a transcendent side to us, a spirit. And they often conflict with each other. There is a tension between matter and spirit, matter and energy. The twins is the resolution of that tension. And how do you resolve it? By spiritualizing the material. By bringing out the best in each. There are schools of thought that preach asceticism. That in order to experiencing anything that is more sublime, higher states of consciousness and awareness, you need to escape, you need to cut off from the rush hour of the rat race and the merry-go-round, the roller coaster of life. Asceticism. An austere, simple life. Others argue, think of the Calvinistic Protestant work ethic. No, engage with the world, but be kind, be virtuous, be charitable. But if you want high levels of spirituality, you can't really do that when you're consumed with or involved in the material existence. So most of us compartmentalize. This is the conflict between home and career, home and work. It's a conflict between our selfless side to ours and our selfish side. The conflict between faith and modernity. It manifests in so many different ways. Could materialism and spirituality ostensibly seem to be antithetical? But then comes the twins, Gemini, and teaches us that's not the case. They can be a major conflict. It could be the root of all discord and all war and tension and battle. But they could also come together and complement each other. When you recognize that they're both two parts of one larger whole, two twins, well, I should say one set of twins, two individuals that are very different in personality, but they complement each other. The body is the vehicle that allows us to manifest our ideals, our values, our transcendent longings. On the other hand, what's a vehicle without the captain of the ship? So they should be working hand in hand, and that's what Gemini is about. And that's why the Gemini personality will often have certain dual tugging the person one direction, the other direction. But the goal and the purpose is to know that you could integrate, you could harmonize, you could bring them together. And that is the Gemini power, which is one for all of us, but especially someone born or someone associated with this particular time of the year. That's the predominant predisposition. And it teaches us all and allows us all to glean and draw energy from the month of Gemini, the energy of integration, of looking at the different fragments of our lives, the different parts, and seeing how can we synergize, how can we find that common thread that ties it all together into one beautiful tapestry, that harmony within diversity. And this applies both individually, each one of us, the conflicts we have, our psychological, emotional, different voices, different expectations, demands on us, but also collectively. We all dream of a world of peace, of harmony, but yet look how elusive it is. Different viewpoints, different faiths, different religions, different belief systems. Intolerance is because we're not tapping into the Gemini energy of that third path, the middle path, the one that takes the best of the other two, of the right and left, and turns it into something far deeper. But whenever you see different opinions, and if you're able to bring them together, you'll always come away with a third approach which transcends both of them and actually uses both of them to find a deeper solution, a more crystallized one. So indeed, it is the Tiferes, it is the third, it is the Gemini that we're all seeking. Those synchronized twins. In recent years, the concept of mirror neurons has begun to capture our imagination. The idea that we mirror each other's neurons. The classic example, whatever reason, maybe we can identify with it. You see somebody about to close the door on their finger, and you'll say, ouch. Even though you're not there, you're not feeling it, because you identify, we mirror and reflect each other's neurons. Some will call it empathy. Empathy, which indeed is part of the Gemini personality, a certain element of empathy. What is empathy? That we go outside of our own confines, our own boundaries, our own parameters, and we can experience another. Because that indeed is the secret to create such harmony. Because as long as a person is controlled by their ego, and by the need for control, and by the need to dominate, then you will be who you are, and others will either have to be subjugated to you, or in some ways subdued, or surrender, or annihilated even, as you see in relationships. Often there's a dominant partner and a submissive one, a passive one. But true beauty is always going to be two individuals, twins. Each one brings their strings, then they come together. More than the sum of the parts. And that is a third deeper energy, but that requires an element of selflessness, an element of modesty. The way I like to put it, a suspension of your own interest in order to experience something greater than yourself. That's what true love is. Not just to give, not just to take, but love is the ability to transcend yourself. Find something deeper that you could never find on your own without the other. And the same thing with the other looking at you. Twins, each coming with their own uniqueness, but at the same time complementing each other. It's a beautiful concept. But how do we begin? You begin by simply looking at yourself and lowering the temperature of your own demands and needs, of your own ego, of your own self-contained, driven force, what we call self-interest. And recognize that we are truly all parts of something greater. We are parts of a larger tapestry, a cosmic symphony. And each of us is absolutely needed, while also being complemented by everyone around us. So Gemini is ultimately the marriage between heaven and earth. The hug, the embrace, the kiss between the spirit and matter, between energy and matter. And indeed, going back to the biblical story, what do you find? That in Aries, in Nisan, was the redemption of going out of the limitations. The Exodus. Then came Taurus, which was the efforts and the initiative that comes from below, not just as a gift from above. And then the third month, the month of Sivan, is the month of Sinai, the revelation, where heaven and earth met for the first time. The power that it infused us all to be able to spiritualize the material world, to turn the physical into something soulful. Not as two separate worlds, not as a dichotomy. To use Einstein's most famous formula, E equals mc squared. Energy is matter times the speed of light squared. And that creates, and it helps us understand that matter and energy are truly reversible. And in turn, are really two parts of one whole. So, as we enter this month of Gemini, of twins, may we find those two forces within us, empower each one, but also teach them to speak to each other, to coordinate, and then let it spill over to our families, to our communities, to our cities, to our populations, in a beautiful ripple effect of experiencing the ultimate harmony within diversity. Those of us that have that Gemini character prominent should use it to teach others how we create such harmony. This has been Simon Jacobson, Meaningful Life Center, meaningfullife.com. Please check us out. We have a wide array of different offerings that cover different aspects of life, meaningful life, to help infuse your life with deeper purpose. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, our growing YouTube channel, I should add, and share with others. And I'd love to hear your feedback, your thoughts, your comments, your questions, and your suggestions. Everyone be well and be blessed.